Design or Die podcast, meant to connect creatives together and help you navigate the struggles and the triumphs of what it means to be an entrepreneur so that you and your business can thrive. I'm your host, Colette. Let's get creative. Hello, happy Friday. I'm recording this on Friday right now, but typically going forward, I'll be posting bi-weekly for Friday mornings so you can start your weekend early and have some creative juices flowing and also get you thinking about things. So today I'm just going to jump right in, but I want to talk about pyramid schemes. Now, pyramid schemes can also be marketed as MLMs. I'm sure you've heard of them. I'm sure your Facebook is flooded with people you went to high school with that you were never friends with that try to start up a conversation that seems genuine and then they go right into, do you want to buy my products? And I know that there's going to be a lot of people that listen to this that are maybe in the midst of these MLMs, and that's fine. Like, whatever you want to do, whatever works for you, like, do it. I'm just going to talk about my personal experience with it and what I think about it coming from a small business owner point of view. So let's jump into it. So MLM is short for multi-level marketing. And this is an interesting thing because we know that typically these are marketed towards younger women, typically stay-at-home mothers, and any woman in college or after that want to make a little bit more income or have a side steady income. Right off the bat, that begs the question of why is it only women? I mean, could it be that typically women don't get paid as much for the same job as men do? That's a point right there. But in general, I just feel that these companies kind of exploit these young women and get them to think they're going to reach this unattainable goal. So pyramid schemes are marketed as MLMs. And the difference is that they try to say that MLMs are just marketing. And so when you recruit someone new, you're having them market your business to push it further. But we already know that the only people that benefit from this are the ones at the top. You'll likely never see any of those benefits that they promise you. Yeah, you can if you really, really, really dedicate your life to it, but it's a very slim chance, unfortunately. So the way these pyramid schemes or MLMs typically work is that you have to pay money up front to get like a sample kit of the products that you're going to sell. And it's kind of a weird system because what job do we typically have to like pay money forward in order to get money? And there's no guarantee that you're even going to make that money back even from the kit that you buy. And I know there's a lot of friends that you may have that want to support you and they'll do it that way. But honestly, I've fallen for and or just wanted to try some of these just to see what the gimmick was about. And I can tell you probably basically all of them that I've tried were complete trash. Not worth the money, kind of like really low quality products that are marketed as these like one-of-a-kind beauty products that are just going to give you the best look, the best lashes, the whitest teeth. I've tried them all. There was one where people were selling these lip glosses and honestly, they smelled like chemicals and they burned my lips, like burned them. And I'm just like, people are marketing these products that one, like they don't even know that much about. Two, like who is behind all these? Who is at the very top? Because that's the only person that's benefiting. They're getting all of you to market them for free, actually putting your own money into marketing them for them so that they don't have to put their own money forward. Like it's kind of a crazy system. Think about it. You're paying, what is it? $100, maybe $300 for a starting kit, and you're not getting paid for your time to market them, but you're on there. People are making Facebook Lives, messaging everyone, and they're putting in so much work and not really seeing much benefit. They get like a percentage of what they sell, but Think about it. The person at the top is getting free marketing. And then once they get enough money, guess what? They close that business out. It's no longer a thing. They go on to the next one with the money that they've earned. And you're left here completely just in the dark. Like, can't tell you how many women I've known personally that have jumped into several different MLMs. And it just begs the question too, like, if you have to keep joining a bunch of them, are they actually working for you? Now, you'll learn too, I'm a big advocate for women of all ages, all genders, all sizes, all races, and I understand why we need to try and make other avenues of income, especially if you have children you have to care for by yourself or with a partner. I understand, and this is where it kind of grinds my gears, is because it's taking advantage of these women. So I have a blog post about this, but I just want to talk more about it. My suggestion is to stop giving into these, because you're wasting your time, you're wasting your money, and you're putting so much effort into it, right? Like, you're learning a lot about social media and marketing, which is awesome, but guess what? You should start your own business or go into business with someone else and be like, I can run your social media. There's a lot of people doing like virtual assisting and things like that today. And I recommend doing that instead. Like, don't fall for these scams, man. I mean, I even on social media, I'll get a friend request from someone and they act genuinely interested in my life, or like seem like they want to be friends or something like that. And then a couple sentences in, they're already trying to recruit me to their one of a kind international brand. And I'm like, please stop. So again, like, I just feel like they're taking advantage of these young women. If you channel that energy and time into something else, you can really actually get some return for it and maybe also feel kind of fulfilled at the end of the day. And I'll tell you a little bit about me. So I grew up with one of my parents being tied into one of these. And it's a huge national brand. And so it was never thought of as a pyramid scheme. But as I've gotten older and learned more about these things and more about business, I realized, yeah, it really was. And not only did that cause a lot of issues in my family, but a lot to do with money in my household. And it was, for me as a young child, actually kind of embarrassing to be with one of my parents who were doing this, and we'd be in public and they would have to like recruit people to their team, and I would always be so embarrassed, like, oh, can we just go to the grocery store and like just go for what we need, like, and I hate to say that, but it's true. I just felt like even as a young age it felt weird. And I can't tell you how much of my time as a child was spent involved in this. Once a week, every week, there was a meeting that I would go to with them and spend the mornings. And I made friends with, the other families who were in it. I made friends with their kids. I mean, we would go on family excursions to these conventions all over the US. We were so in it. That's why I feel like I can speak about this topic, because I literally lived through it my whole life. Now I've tried to kind of tell my parents that and be like, no, that was a pyramid scheme. We never saw a dime from that. All we did was waste money on it, waste years of their life involved in it for no return. And that is someone who was super dedicated to it, went to every possible thing to get there, and it still didn't pay off at all. So I just want you all to think of this before you give into those gimmicks. Like, they sound really great to start, but I don't see it panning out long term. I think you're going to waste a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of energy that should be focused more on building your own thing if that's what you want to do. I know other people too, especially during the pandemic, started side businesses, and people want to support you. Friends and family, they want to support you in whatever you're doing, and you might as well do one where you get all the proceeds, not someone else on your dime. So just take it from me. Don't fall into these, and you're worth more than that. Give yourself credit, especially if you learned something from these and you learned, like I said, social media. Take that and run with it. I mean, the world is completely revolved around social media. It is obvious why women are lumped into this is because a lot of times as a woman, you have to really think about what your future will look like, if you want children, if you don't. A lot of times when you want to start a family, you kind of have to choose between like work or being a stay-at-home mother, and that's really hard. And it's especially hard because your mental health just deteriorates. When you're so focused on just being a mother, you kind of lose your sense of self. And that's why also I feel like if you're gonna do anything, if you work for yourself or go down one of those paths, you'll feel more rewarded in the end and feel like you have something that's yours aside from your partner and aside from your just being a mother. We're taught at such a young age that as a woman, you are constantly asked when you're gonna have children, when you're gonna start a family, when you're getting married, and there's so much pressure on that in general that I think we tend to lean towards that way. And I know a lot of stay-at-home mothers end up just feeling really isolated and alone. And I just want to empower you guys to, whatever your talent is, whatever your passion is, even if you're not making a business out of it, do something like creative and fun for yourself that is like some me time. I'm personally not a mother yet, but I did nanny for a lot of years. I work with children now, and that's just a trend that I've seen. You know, you're so much more than just a wife or a mother, and I think you should not give in to those companies that are here to try and take something from you. We already deal with enough as women, and I just don't want anyone to fall down this path and believe into it and then end up empty-handed and with less money and less time. So this brings me to the next thing I wanted to talk about. I did tell you in the beginning that I do work from home. I'm actually a wife to a lineman. If you don't know what that is, they are typically construction workers that work on power lines. It is like one of the top dangerous jobs to do, and especially when there's any kind of storm in any of the areas, my husband goes out and restores the power in very dangerous, cold, freezing, extremely hot conditions. He's worked in Puerto Rico, he's worked in California for several months, if not more in the past actually, when we lived on Long Island. And that's kind of when I started my own business, because I needed something for me and I needed something to keep my time while he was gone. And not only that, make my own schedule, because being a line wife, it is super unpredictable. And basically, you know, if I was working a regular job, and I say regular, you know, the norm, I would be getting home at like 6 p.m. And it's really hard to balance those two things, especially when you're working full time. So that kind of gave into why I started this in the beginning. And I'd love to hear if there's any other listeners out there who are line wives or know someone who's a lineman as well. It's a very different world. It leaves you definitely very lonely. You're working from home or you're a line wife or something, anything like that. My recommendation is to network and connect with other people who relate to you and are living the same experiences. It can be super isolating, and it's easy to fall down a path of loneliness and just feeling overwhelmed, especially if you have children at the house to take care of. And connecting with people who relate to you is so great because, one, you probably have a similar schedule to them. It's really important to network, and with just yourself and your children all the time, it's incredibly difficult to do that. I mean, as humans, we need friendship, we need connection, we need motivation in life, and that's why I recommend just doing something different, changing it up. If you are deciding to start your own creative business, connect with other people who do that in your area. There's actually a group called the Rising Tide Society that a friend of mine from college told me about. And there's pretty much a meetup in every big city that you can go to and not only network and make business connections, but you make personal connections through it as well, because all these people relate to you. If you're a new mom, like, join Mommy and Me group, meet other people who are doing what you're doing and can relate to you, and you can get outside yourself. And have you guys seen Working Moms? Because I love that show. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it. I think it's on Netflix. It's a Canadian film. It's definitely a little out there and raunchy, but it is hilarious. So I recommend if you're like a new mom to watch that. otherwise, yeah, it can get super hard to motivate yourself when you're so busy taking care of children, taking care of your home, taking care of your business from home. I had to set up my studio space to be something that was a little more me, a little more relaxing, a little more me put into it instead of just like an office with like machinery and computers and printers. So what I've done actually is I have a salt lamp in my studio now. So when it gets a little darker, I put that on. I burn incense in my studio. I'll open the window. I have my computer right by the window, which gives me like a view of my dogs playing in the backyard and brings some, vitamin D into my life because that's super important as well. So, those are just a few tips if you work from home. Set it up like your space, your me time. It can be both. If you have a studio elsewhere, cozy it up. I mean, you're going to be in there a lot of hours. You want to be comfortable. You want to feel like not incredibly drained afterwards. So, that's just a few tips. So, thank you for listening today. I also want to hear if you have any experiences or horror stories with pyramid schemes. Please write into me at designordIY@gmail.com and we can talk about it here. And hopefully, on the next episode, I'll have a guest speaker. So, look forward to that, and I'll see you next time.